Welcome back, guys. Well, it's another lovely spring morning here at the cabin, and just back. And of course, last night we got in here, there was another huge windstorm. It was pretty crazy driving in 100-kilometer-an-hour winds trying to get here. And of course, we were really worried that there would be some more damage to the cabin. There's a few more trees down that we've had to work on cleaning up. But today, that's really not what I wanted to do, because it's going to be a nice 22-degree day. We want to get out and get some trees in the ground, do some more prep on the propane tanks for the propane heater. And I also want to, maybe take a look at some trees in the field and see what needs to go so that they can have a good growing year this year. All right, stay tuned, guys. There's lots coming your way. Well, first off, I want to start out with a shout out to Charlie and El Ghost Wolf. I won one of his contests online that he had recently and just got the package this week. And I have to show this to you guys. This is so cool. So Charlie lives in Newfoundland, has a great channel. You guys should check it out. I've got a link down below in the description box. And what I won was a couple of hats. So this one's from GNR Recreation, and you can see little logos on there, and a balaclava, as well as a couple of drawings that Charlie did himself. So I wanted to show you, this is one here of a great horned owl that he did, and it's done in pencil. And the other one is of a bald eagle, and you can see that there. We have several bald eagles actually in the area. So I think this is really, really cool. Charlie, thank you so much. Congrats on the success of your channel. He's got over 1 million views. You guys want to check him out. He's got a great channel out of the East Coast there. And he'll be building a cabin soon as well. So I'm sure he'll take us along on those adventures. So Charlie, I'm going to put these up here at the cabin. I've got to pick out a perfect spot for them. I'm trying to decide whether I put them up in the loft or, when we make that other, cabin area there, I might put them in there. For now, they'll go in the main cabin, and I'll look at them each time I'm up here. Thanks again. Well, what am I up to over here? Well, I'm up to putting some bird strike stickers on the window to prevent the little chickadees and such from hitting their heads on my window. So basically, I've got the ladder set up here, and I'm just setting up this kit that I got from Bob last year. Let's take a closer look. So taking a closer look at the window, you can see that there's some tape going across in a horizontal pattern. And the tape is going at 2 inches, 2-inch intervals along the window there. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to peel away that tape there, and we're going to be left with little gray dots. And those gray dots are basically going to be what prevents the birds from smashing into the window. So I'm just going to go up right now and take off the tape. So when I put them on, I also use a credit card to make sure that the tape is on there really good. So now when we take this off, the little dots are going to stay on the window, but the tape won't. There you go. So you can see, you probably can't see here, and I'll take you inside, but there's just a little gray dots. All right, let's finish this up and let's go inside and see what it looks like. Here's the product that I'm using as the bird collision deterrent. I picked that up from my friend Bob at Gilligaloo Bird because I was experiencing some bird collisions here at the cabin, and I wanted to chat with him a bit about what would work. He's got an excellent video on how to install the deterrent that I showed today. So I'll put a link as well to that in the description box. So this is what it looks like from the inside, and you can see all the dots down the window. It's a little bit trippy to look at. It takes some time to get used to, but certainly it's obviously very easy for the birds to see that that's glass. There's something in the way. Kind of looks like end on sticks to them, I guess, so they are going to avoid it and not smash into the window, which makes me happy. So really important to install these stickers on the outside of the window, and that's for maximum efficacy of these. And also, don't worry, it will not affect your glass. You can pick them off. They should last for years, and you should be able to kind of clean them off, with Windex as needed during the year. In contrast, I used to put up stickers like this on the window here, and also stickers like that on the window. But I mean, that's all well and good, but you have to have like tons of them all along here because otherwise they're going to kind of come at the window and just deke this way and bang right into the glass. So really important that you have this kind of setup versus that kind of scenario, because this does not work. That is very effective. Of course, I have my little window feeders here, which I love so much, and I would just hate for them to kind of come in and smash into the glass while they're going to the feeders. So I'm going to continue working on these windows here, and then the cabin will be safe for the birds. Speaking of birds, a lot of birds here this morning singing. So we had the northern flickers really calling today. It's their breeding season. Also, I had 3 tundra swans fly over me this morning, which is so cool. They're en route to the Arctic, to their breeding grounds, and they flew overhead this morning. I heard their honking and their wings. It's just amazing. Huge white birds with a nice black bill. I think that's the first time I've actually seen them here myself at the cabin. I think they've been around a few springs ago. I'll write this in my log because it's really important to do so. I also scared up a woodcock in the field. So that's a bird that has a really long bill, kind of an awkward looking little thing. But you'll hear them at nighttime. They do a really interesting breeding demonstration. And basically what they do is they make a meow, meow kind of noise as they're in the sky, and they go woo, that kind of fluttering sound as they kind of like tumble down in the sky for their breeding display. So we usually have the woodcock here in the spring. They're kind of a water bird, but we have a wet area in the field where they like to kind of poke around in. And I'll hear them at night doing their breeding calls. So excellent time of year to see those birds too. And over here, well, we're getting set up for the propane heater. So I just disconnected these tanks from our straps here. So these are two 40-pounders. We're going to use those for the propane heater. 40-pounders are just easier to cart around in our little trailer. So the 40-pounders, we chose those because they're easier to cart around. It should do us for the amount of times that we're here in the winter. We'll see. We did a calculation of the amount of times we're here. You know, we probably won't have the heater cranked up to 20,000 BTU all the time. We'll probably keep it at the lower setting anyway. I like my cabin cold, so I'm quite used to being in there at 14 to 15 degrees Celsius and it actually feeling quite comfortable. Last night it went down to 8 degrees outside here. In the cabin, it was about 14 and it was perfect. You know, just put a sweater on, that kind of thing. I don't like overheating the cabin, so I don't think we'll be using a lot of propane, but we'll find out. To fill these 2 tanks, it was about $67 Canadian, so not too bad, and that may last us for the amount of weekends we're here during the winter. So we'll see. The gas technician is coming out end of May, and we're going to have it set up so that if we want to put in a 100-pound tank, you know, or 100-pound tanks, we will be able to do so. It's just going to make the pigtails longer or whatever. So, because these tanks, the 40-pounders are about 2.5 feet tall. I think the 100-pounders are a little above 4 feet. We'll make it set up so it's fine to do both. It'll be flexible. So it's tree planting time, and in this bag here are the trees I want to plant and bushes. In the big bag here we have 40 white cedar, so that should be really good. Cedar are native to this area and they provide, you know, a great shelter, you know, once they get really big. You know, we've got a cedar swamp at the back. It's great for deer cover, things like that. Also good windbreak. In this bag right here, you can see the trees sort of sticking out. We've got 10 black walnut, 10 buttonbush, and 10 pussy willow. So the pussy willow and buttonbush, I want to plant sort of by a little, you know, ephemeral pond at the back of the gully behind the cabin. The cedar I might sort of put around the cabin or just on the trail up here on the way in. I haven't really decided. Black walnut, yeah, we're gonna have to figure that one out. Maybe put them in the clearing at the back there, I'm not sure. Because wouldn't that be beautiful to have those walnuts there? Of course, that means lots more squirrels, but whatever, they live here too. Also, you know, in many, many years, like, I don't know, 25, 30 years, there'll be good trees for harvesting wood. It's a very valuable wood. But we'll see what happens. So going to get planting those right now. So here I am on an ephemeral pond there at the edge of the property, and this is where I'm going to plant the pussy willow and the buttonbush. So I got some more bare root stock this year. As you guys know, that's kind of my preferred type of bush or plant to get in the ground. So here we've got the pussy willow and the buttonbush right here. So these are really healthy looking plants. You can kind of see the little catkins there on the pussy willow. So bare root stock is really easy to get in the ground. All you need is a shovel. You can plant these really rapidly. So I've done several videos on tree planting, so I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail. You can go back through some of those videos if you want to learn a little bit more about bare root stock. So I'm going to get these in the ground now, and this will be a nice little area here for them. Both plants like swampy areas, floodplains, things like that. They're excellent food for birds. The buttonbush produces these little white sort of flowers that produce like a nutlet, so they like eating those. So this is a great investment in the property to, you know, keep planting trees and shrubs to help out the local wildlife. So as you can see, you may not be able to see, they're all in. There's about, I can only find 9 of them actually. I don't know, I must have put one down somewhere. But anyway, the pussy willow, they're all in right now. And now I'm just gonna go head over and do some buttonbush on the other shore. Well, that was fun. It's getting pretty warm out. It's about 20 degrees out, and I've got about 20 trees in now. I've got 50 more to plant. So I'm gonna go have some lunch and get something to drink, and then catch you guys after lunch. Just on the way back to the cabin, and here's a bunch of deer sign. There's some deer hair down, so I think the coyotes or wolves took down a deer near here. And yep, there's the evidence. There's the poop from the wolf or the coyote that ate that deer. And there by the tip of my foot is turkey poop. Let's do a close-up there of the turkey poop. They're actually breeding right now, and so I've heard them in the woods, and I saw them this morning in front of the cabin. So up in this tree here, I just wanted to show you, I'll zoom in. This is a nest that's getting started, and I'm kind of wondering if it belongs to, a broad-winged hawk or something like that. So right here, this is where the pads are going to be for the propane tank. So we're digging a hole. We'll put some of the gravel in that we have over here. And then there's 2 24 by 24 patio stones. And then the propane tanks will sit on top of that. This is a little shower stall thing we have. We're going to be moving that. I had an idea maybe to, well, I guess a guest shower or a quick shower for the summer. I don't know, deciding whether I should put it in the field or maybe I should just put it there. I kind of want to get a bit of rain off of it in a barrel so that we can have it for our showers while we're building the, and creating that bathhouse we wanted to make. So anyway, that's going to get moved maybe here, maybe in the field. And right now we're just getting started on making the pads here for the propane tanks. Another consideration is there's where the pads are going to be, and there's a proximity to a plug-in and sort of where we hook up the battery. So there is a risk for ignition right here. So one other thing we need to do is move this box. I'm just going to kind of move it down over here somewhere, just really away from where any propane gas may vent. I just don't like how close it is. Now it is around a corner and everything, but I think it's just a good idea and a good practice to, it's not too bad to move it. Got more of this armored cable here, and so we'll just drag it on a little bit over there. Yeah, we'll go from there. Next step is we're going to be putting some gravel into this pit and then the pads on top. To go along, check level. So this isn't level, so we're just going to move the gravel around until it's level.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, it's great. Now we'll just check the level. That's perfect. Not bad at all, actually. Look, right on. Okay, good.
Nicely done.
Right now, we're getting the tanks in. So there they are, sitting on their pad. Next step is to have the gas tech out to connect it to the heater. And the electrical outlet now has been moved from there to here. So that's a good distance away from the propane tanks. You can see the tanks are here, and where the battery is where the plug-in is. So we should be good to go. And that is how you get a shower in the field. So that was a lot of work, but it worked out just fine. So we're setting up the shower here. The idea is that it's a temporary thing until we get the bathhouse set up, but basically we're gonna put a roof on this, have a collection barrel for rainwater. So we'll put a tank right here in the front, and what we'll do is we'll put a roof on this. It'll collect into a barrel right here. So right here, there'll be a post resecured there, and we're gonna have our shower head there. So that way we don't have to go to the river and get our water. It's just gonna be collected from rainwater. When you have your shower, you have a nice view. All right, so just cleaning up around the cabin here, and I want to show you guys something cool. If you want to take a look, here is an eastern garter snake. So this little guy, or gal, I haven't really checked yet, has basically been hanging out by the cabin. So we just spotted her there on the trail. So just want to show you a little close up there of this snake. This is an eastern garter snake who's posing for the camera there. And they're pretty laid back snake. As you can see, I'm not really, doing a lot of restraint or anything like that. It's just kind of going along my arm. So I know some of you in my channel are a little bit afraid of snakes, but honestly, this snake is not an aggressive snake. It thinks I'm kind of a tree right now. And it's just climbing up on me. How cool is that? So I just wanted to show you where I have some of the cedars planted, and it's basically right in front of the cabin. So the cabin's there, and this I want to be a very dense cedar hedge. So it's going to be a hedgerow, not necessarily these giant cedar trees like we have in the back. So these trees are going to be pruned once they grow up, and they'll grow up nice and tight next to each other to provide a wind block from the field to the cabin. Well, I'm going to finish up by planting the last, I don't know, 30 trees or so. Basically right now we've got we'll have in 40 cedars, 10 buttonbush, 10 black walnut, and 10 pussy willow. Although I think I just planted 9, I don't know where the 10th one went. Anyway, so that's a good bit of work done for today. And then I'm just gonna kind of relax. And tomorrow I think we're gonna take down one of the larger cedars at the back because we'll be using some of the wood for a project that's upcoming. All right, guys, I hope you have a great week. As always, take care.